2006 middle school emo hairstyle here. I'm still not getting a haircut. I found a new douchebag YouTuber that I thought would be fun to take a look at. I'm going to give you a little behind the scenes action and how I keep finding new DoucheTubers that not a lot of people talk about. I type in "gone wrong" into the search bar. It's basically like a fucking complete compendium of douchebags on YouTube. You can find every single one of them there. It's like the old goddamn Yellow Pages, but on the YouTube site here. It's incredible what you can find by just typing in "gone wrong." An incredible plethora of douchebags to choose from. So today I chose Nate Garner. This is his beat up prank where his girlfriend pretends she was beaten up to prank him. Let's go ahead and take a look here.
What's up? Yeah, that's me. Yikes. And this is my life. Let me show you how I got here.
Yeah, baby. I've been waiting my whole life.
It takes only a quick glance at this man to figure out that he came from a very privileged upbringing. One thing I do like, though, is in his intro, he's wearing a backwards cap. That's very interesting, and I think you know what that means. It's time to get lit.
Where are we? I don't really know. My final destination? I don't know. Am I gonna die when I walk through these doors? No. I'm not gonna die. Carissa's hair is gonna die. Ooh.
It's all going.
Because I'm having her hair salon cut it all off.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty weird thing to say for a vlog, to be honest with you. Hey, what's going on, gang? I'm at the salon. Am I gonna walk through those doors, get my throat slit, and someone gonna rip my spine out of my asshole? I mean, who knows? It's kind of a fucking morbid way to start this one off, don't you think, Nate?
Awesome. Yeah, boy, got kicked out. I don't think you're allowed to vlog in there, and Carissa was a little bit embarrassed of me. Hi, Max. Why would your mom be embarrassed of me?
This part actually infuriated me because it shows a complete lack of care for their pets. This man goes in there with full intention of staying throughout the entire hair salon experience, so you're talking 2.5 to 3 hours in there with her. Meanwhile, there's a dog in the scorching hot car the entire time. If he didn't get kicked out, that dog would be dead. But this all assumes that this vlog is real, which is a huge assumption to make because all DoucheTubers' vlogs and videos are fake. They're all just piles of shit. So I'm sure he didn't get kicked out. It's probably planned he'd go in and go out. But if it is real, then that salon kicking out this obnoxious asshole just saved the life of an innocent animal.
Though, if you're not subscribed, you should. We take big W's every single day. We're the best family on YouTube. And there's merch dropping on Merch First. So there's 3 days left until merch drops, baby. Be ready for it. And be ready for this video. So let's just run right into it.
Jesus Christ, Nate, now I just feel sorry for you. I genuinely couldn't have written a more generic asshole DoucheTuber subscribe call to action merch plug and all that garbage, that checklist of how to be a DoucheTuber. That was the most formulaic shit I have ever seen in my life. I couldn't imagine a more hollow existence than to put on this fake high energy bullshit performance every day for your children that are watching you. I honestly couldn't, like, there's no way this man enjoys this. He's got to be fucking dead inside. Let's run right into it. With this over-animated face getting loud for no reason, wacky sound effects and zoom-ins. Holy shit. Nate, that's sad, man. That's really sad.
Today, I am going to do, here's a little preview, I'm gonna do the beat up prank. I don't know why this is the most requested prank. Like, do you guys hate me? Like, come on. It kind of hurts my feelings. What would make me feel a little bit better is like, if you guys bought the merch on March 1st, that's all I'm saying.
Oh right, yeah, the classics, the getting beaten up prank. That's a fucking wholesome, family-friendly prank right there. That's some good shit. Everyone's a winner in that one. Obviously, it's all fake, but I mean, why the fuck do all of you DoucheTubers do like these brutal prank ideas? Like, let's simulate an armed robbery prank gone wrong, gone sexual. The cop whipped out his cock. What's the next prank you're gonna fake here, Nate? The waterboarding Meemaw in the backyard where you take your grandma out back, put a towel over her face, and dump water on her or some shit as a prank? What happened to just silly fun pranks where nobody gets hurt? Why is it always some shit like kidnapping my girlfriend's mother and not giving her back unless my girlfriend buys my merch on March 1st? It's just silly shit. Like, even conceptually, obviously it's all fake. But why is that, like, the direction pranks go for you kind of weird fucking weirdos? I don't get it. Make some fucking entertaining pranks from a conceptual standpoint.
I put that on. Yeah, this is awesome. And this makeup, you guys, it's so good. I'm so talented. This is gonna be awesome.
Alright, I'm no James Charles, but I'm gonna critique your makeup here, Carissa. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look like you've been in a fight. This looks very fake. Now, I used to get black eyes all the time when I played sports. You don't get a black eye immediately after the impact on your eye. It's the result of the bruising, so the day after, maybe the next day, you'll get a black eye form as a result. Now, anyone who's ever been in a tussle or in a fight would immediately recognize that and know you're lying. Oh, you've been in a fight, huh, Carissa? Well, you wouldn't have a black eye if that were true. You're lying to me. We're breaking up. I don't want to see you again. Bang, into your relationship, Carissa, all because you did your makeup wrong. Now, I do think luck is on your side here, though, because your boyfriend looks like a giant pussy whose only conflict has ever been with his parents when they reduced his allowance from $5,000 a week to $2,000 a week because he was rude to the butlers and they wanted to teach him a lesson about discipline. So there's no way he would ever pick up on it, and obviously the prank's fake from the get-go anyway, but god damn it, I wanted to critique the makeup.
Hey, are you home yet?
Yeah, I just got back. Where are you?
Okay, I'm walking back from the store and some guy is like, he looks really sketchy. He's been following me for a little bit now.
Where? Where are you?
I'm out front. I'm almost back to the apartment, but he's like,
Just get in, hurry.
Can you come out here?
Solid acting so far, I'll definitely give it that. Very concerned boyfriend. Oh, you're being followed by a creepy stalker? Well, hey, just, can you hurry up, maybe? Have you thought of that one?
Here and walk back with me, please.
Where are you?
Please,
Where in the apartment?
I'm out in the front and by the park. Please.
Just, why is there nobody? Just come, run.
No, just hurry, please.
Okay.
Hurry. Okay, I hung up. This is so good.
Hardy har har, this is some turbo comedy. Ho ho ho.
Okay, he's coming, you guys.
Okay. All right, you guys. So I just got back from the Apple store.
So Nate gets a call from his girlfriend about her being stalked by a potentially dangerous person begging for his help, and his first thought is to grab the camera and vlog it. Fuck yeah, baby! Garner Gang is lit as shit, catching those big W's on the daily, by letting his girlfriend get beaten up so he can vlog it. Yeah, man. Wow.
He's coming. Okay, go.
Give me the bag.
Stop! Stop! No!
Yo, what the fuck is going on? Why the fuck are you on my girlfriend, bro?
Nate!
Are you okay? What happened to you?
I'm okay.
Your bag.
Get my bag! No! He's tackling! Oh my god! It's a prank! Nate! 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 It's a prank! It's a prank!
What are you doing?
It's a prank!
What are you
It's
doing,
a
bro?
prank!
What the fuck are you
Michael!
doing?
It's Michael!
Oh
It's just a prank!
What the fuck are you guys doing? Michael, I haven't seen you in weeks.
It's a happy ending once you realize it was just Michael under the mask, like the Scooby-Doo villain being demasked. Then it's a group hug in the shower, and the vlog goes on for 8 more minutes. I didn't watch any of it, because it doesn't get better than that prank right there. Now, again, obviously all fake, but let's talk about this as if it were real, because that's a lot more fun, and it's a lot less disgusting to think that these adults came up with this fake prank shit and then acted it out, which they did, and played pretend. I think that's embarrassing, so let's talk about it as if it were 100% real. So Nate starts vlogging, knowing full well that his girlfriend just called, speculating that she may get robbed or beaten up. He shows up, surprised that his girlfriend is getting robbed and beaten up. So he keeps vlogging it and then being confused, like, well, how is this happening? I had no idea, as he's like looking at the camera vlogging it. So then he goes over and shoves the guy, to which Carissa is surprised that he went and defended her. So to that I have to wonder, is Nate so big of a pussy that Carissa had no faith in him lending his strength to save her? Did she expect him to go over there and talk it out with the man beating her up? Like, hey, sir, that's my girlfriend. If you could just, wrap this up quickly or maybe stop beating her up, I'd really appreciate it. I don't want any trouble. Like, she had to expect that her boyfriend would at least push the guy at the very least. So why is she acting all like, holy shit, hey, calm down? It makes no sense unless he really is that big of a pussy that she had no idea he even had it in him to fight in any capacity. It's baffling. Michael, I think, is the real hero here for having a very minor role in all of this. Yeah, you really got saved some embarrassment for the most part. You even had like a fucking, pair of panties over your face or whatever the fuck that was. I don't know. Great video, Nate. That shit stayed lit. Garner Gang for life, baby. When was that merch dropping? March 1st, Nate? You bet your ass I'm not buying that. No, but your content sucks a lot of shit, man. Keep up the good work. Right now, you most likely picture someone who time skips in Animal Crossing. That seems to be the unforgivable sin on the internet at the moment, but I want to show you something truly deplorable and evil. There's a YouTuber that has made an entire career out of torturing and eating animals alive for their mukbang videos. First of all, mukbangs suck fuck. Sitting on your balls is less painful than watching a full mukbang video. They're absolutely terrible, and she takes it to the next level by making it something diabolical. I can already see in the comment section some of those tough guys, oh, what are you, some kind of pussy vegan? What, you can't handle watching some animals get killed and eaten? I have hit a fucking deer with my truck on the way home, got out, put a bullet in its skull, and then ate it when I got home. You vegan pussy. I get it, you're a real tough guy, for sure. I'm not a vegan, and you don't need to be to find the shit she does cruel and just downright ridiculous and just disgusting. Her name is So Young, and what she does on her channel is she buys sea creatures alive and then kills them in the slowest, most inhumane ways possible because she likes to watch them squirm around and put Facebook royalty-free music behind it as a joke. For example, with a squid in particular, she cuts the hood off and then sets the body down, and the body's still alive, the squid is still technically alive, and it's moving around trying to get the fuck away. She'll pour sauce on it and put some goofy music and make some stupid fucking jokes about it. It's terrible stuff. She treats it like it's a Nick Jr. cartoon, where she's making these, like, goofy sounds and goofy YouTuber faces, like, that's kind of fucking garbage. That's what she does as the creatures are clinging to the last ounce of life they have. And sometimes she doesn't bother to kill the creatures, like for octopus, she'll just eat them alive straight up. Now, I know there's a lot of people that argue, are sea creatures even alive? Some of them don't have nervous systems, this and that. And yeah, there's a debate to be had there, I suppose, but the creatures she chooses to eat alive are the ones that are well documented in being very much aware and alive. For example, the octopus. Octopus are among the most intelligent creatures we have on the planet. They're up there with dolphins. They have a fully complex nervous system, brain. They have as many neurons as dogs do, and they process pain and information in much the same way a dog does. They're able to remember that kind of information as well. So how does she treat an octopus? Well, by devouring it alive as it tries its best to run the fuck away. Yeah, they're actually alive. It's not like some kind of post-mortem response or anything, and even in the title she makes it well known the octopus are alive and that she's eating them alive. That's the whole draw of the video. If you watch her channel, you watch this content and support it, you suck. You, objectively, you're a piece of shit and you have shitty taste. I guarantee I could find 1,000 scientific reports to corroborate that. It's a fact. You suck. And she is absolutely terrible. I don't even know how this content is allowed on YouTube. This absolutely falls under animal cruelty, by all definitions. Yes, again, there is a debate to be had about all sea creatures being equal in terms of what they can experience, what they can feel, and all that. I get it. But the creatures she chooses are the smartest fucking creatures in the sea. I'm honestly expecting sometime this week she'll release a eating dolphin alive video where she starts at the fucking butthole of the dolphin and just eats up. It's some deplorable shit. What's she gonna do when she runs out of sea creatures to eat alive? Probably resort to cannibalism. I have no idea what's next for the channel. It is absolutely baffling to me. Eating an octopus alive is like eating a fucking dog alive. They're on the same level. She's basically just eating a sea hentai dog. It's fucking crazy how this is even allowed and how she has an audience that supports it and defends her in the comment section. She has fucking simps defending her in the comments section. Have some fucking shame. Even if you set aside morals and ethics, the content itself is fucking atrocious. All she does when she's not torturing and eating animals alive is scream, as, you have goofy cartoon music blasting behind her. So unless you're 8 years old who finds jingling keys comedic because they're loud, I don't know how you could possibly be entertained by anything she does. It's fucking terrible trash. I think it's pretty clear she makes these videos aimed at a younger demographic. Children, you know, with all this goofy screaming and Facebook sound effect kind of shit. I don't think her target demographic is adults. Which makes it even more fucked up to just be coming on here and executing these creatures on camera for kids to laugh at. Even when she does muster enough human decency to at least kill the food she's about to eat, she always makes sure that it puts on a little show for her, like she's the puppeteer and it's the marionette. She'll take the sea creature out of the water, throw it on the floor, and just let it flop around, as you saw with the shark right there. She does that for every single creature she eats. I have not found a single video where she doesn't torture it before she eats it. And yes, again, sometimes she does actually kill them, but a lot of times she just eats them alive.
구독, 좋아요 눌러주세요. 자, 엄마야. 자, 먹어볼게요. 움직이지 마. 맛있겠다.
Yep, she just twists their fucking heads off while they're alive. It's like a Mortal Kombat fatality. How are you supposed to humanely prepare prawns? What's the right way? Well, unsurprisingly, you take a sharp knife and you go from head to tail. It's instant. And there's none of the old neck snapping and head ripping off decapitation kind of shit that she prefers to do. Let's see how she handles a squid.
가만히 있어, 가만히 있어, 가만히 있어, 가만히 있어, 가만히 있어. 자, 일단 한 마리 손질.
As you can likely imagine, that's the most inhumane way of killing a squid and preparing it. She didn't dress the squid, she fucking mutilated it while it was alive. I'll share with you the proper way of preparing the squid. You start by killing it. Unsurprisingly, you take a sharp knife, or there's even a tool to do it, where you poke it right through its head and you can kill it instantly, so you don't have to worry about stripping its hood off while it's fucking alive. She then poured sauce on the still alive parts of the squid and watched them dance around as a joke. I didn't want to put that in here. It is disgusting. You don't have to be a vegan to think it's disgusting. I'm not, and I think it's just outright one of the most cruel things that YouTube for some reason is allowing, even condoning. She has 3.2 million subscribers. These videos have 18 million, 20 million views. It's sick. I remember a few years ago there was this channel that was dedicated to destroying iPhones, real shitty channel, and in one of his videos, he destroys the iPhone, but he also kills cockroaches around the iPhone. And he got in huge trouble, got taken down by YouTube because of animal cruelty for killing those cockroaches. So what's changed? She's doing something significantly worse than that, and in far more inhumane ways, but she's allowed to continue. She has over 3.2 million subscribers. These views have 20 million views, 50 million views all over the place. They're massive. And I think what she's doing is just disgusting. 100%. Ranged world of family sports, there is no end to the lunacy. I'm talking about novelty sports games for the whole family to not enjoy but pretend they enjoy together. I'm talking about things like horseshoe tossing and croquet. Today we'll be diving into this uninspired and unfun cesspool of activities with one of the worst ones I've seen called marbles.
Outdoor games are a family tradition, but many keep you stuck in one spot, or can even leave you with a real pain in the back.
That's always an important selling point in these products. You know, it's good for all ages. It's not painful for anyone, from the biggest bodybuilders to the most frail, glass-boned, paper-skinned people on the planet. Anyone can play them, and no one will have fun with them. However, in marbles' case, I don't see it being like a healthy alternative for people with bad backs or joints. They show this alpha male straining his back throwing a horseshoe, which I don't attribute to the horseshoe's weight or anything like that, unless that horseshoe is made from parts of Thor's hammer and it's just 500 fucking pounds. It's really the bending forward motion that would be hurting his back, which you still have to do with marbles, so it's just the same thing but with a ball instead of a horseshoe.
Instead, how about you open a bag of fun with marbles? Designed for all ages and abilities, Marbles is a fun outdoor family game that's perfect for all ages, similar to lawn bowling.
And just as fucking boring as lawn bowling. Notice how the man with the bad back who just threw himself into the hospital with the horseshoe is now doing the exact same throwing motion but with a ball this time. A horseshoe doesn't weigh very much. I think they weigh like a pound, maybe 2. Granted, I'm not the most seasoned veteran when it comes to horseshoe throwing. I'm not over there fucking my sister in Alabama and playing horseshoes at Thanksgiving. But from the limited exposure I've had in that sport, I've noticed that they're not very heavy even when I was a toddler. So I don't think it's the weight, it's the throwing motion, which is the same from marbles to horseshoes to cornhole.
Marbles doesn't require a dedicated court or setup. To play, start by tossing the point ball underhand. Then alternate turns throwing the balls, trying to get them the closest to the point ball. After all marbles are thrown, the player closest to the point ball scores.
Now be honest, I know you're foaming at the mouth, scratching at the neck, needing your marbles fixed after hearing how this exhilarating sport functions. Fucking digging through your mom's purse looking for a credit card so you can order some marbles now. Looking into your bank statement, seeing if you can afford a bag of marbles. I know this shit sounds thrilling. And also, it can be used with literally anything in the world. It doesn't have to be marbles balls. You can just grab fucking tennis balls and just designate one with like a Sharpie as the point ball. Not that I'm trying to teach you how to pirate marbles or, do-it-yourself marbles or anything. I'm not trying to give you like knockoff marbles. I'm just telling you, there are workarounds here, loopholes to getting your marbles fixed without needing to get the official licensed brand of marble balls. But I don't know why you would do that. This looks so fucking boring. It'd be more fun wiping your ass with a bad case of hemorrhoids than playing marbles.
Whether you're at the beach, campground, tailgating, or in your backyard, Marbles will brighten up your day and get everyone excited to play.
It will not do that. What marbles most likely will do is act as a band-aid for a shitty family relationship where the father, the son, the wife, and the daughter, they're not all on the same page. All of them not exactly fans of each other, but maybe once a week, maybe every Friday, the father forces the family to play marbles in the backyard to try and bond, but it only makes them drift further apart. Marbles is also just a horrible fucking name. It sounds like Leif Erikson Day from SpongeBob. Hinga-dinga-durgan, marbles, SpongeBob, marbles.
Unlike bocce, marbles are light, buoyant, more dynamic, and can be played almost anywhere. In fact, using the terrain to your advantage is half the fun.
Ladies, I know that trick shot just made you wet, but please calm down your thirst. That marbles expert is taken.
Each set of marbles comes in a heavy-duty toteable canvas bag with the instructions printed right on it.
Ah, there it is. The Holy Scripture, the 10 Commandments of Marble.
Each marble set contains balls for 2 individual players or teams.
Marbles are a hit wherever I take them. I bring them out at family reunions, when the grandkids come over. They're easy to play with and will give us memories that'll last a lifetime.
Now this is actually a very powerful testimony. Unless you're living under a rock, then you're probably familiar with the legend Chip G, Hall of Fame marbler. Often referred to as the bad boy of marbles, he was rumored to have performed cunnilingus on over 20 women at the retirement home where the last marbles championship was held. So him coming out here saying how much he loves marbles, that is something not to be taken lightly. But I do have to say, I think Chip is being a little too pretentious here. Marbles aren't exactly going to give you memories to last a lifetime, unless you're playing strip marbles with your family and grandma loses and her fat, flabby titties come out and you're still like 9 years old. Then maybe that'll stick with you for the rest of your life, and marbles is definitely going to be a negative thing to you from now on.
Marbles' lightweight design ensures that they're gentle on your joints and shoulders and much easier to transport than cornhole, bocce, or horseshoes. Perfect for RVs, car trips, tailgating, and more.
And if you're traveling with any of those games, you're already no fun to be around, so you might as well add marbles to that.
They even make a great gift. Marbles, open a bag of fun. So call now to get your set of marbles today for just $49.95, only through this exclusive TV offer.
That's a fucking ton for just some little light balls. When I first heard that number, I was blown away. $50 for what is essentially just 7 balls that any balls could be used for? That's a bit insulting, but who am I to question the marbles brand? That shit's probably made out of unicorn hide. But yeah, anyway, maybe I'm wrong and this will be the next huge sport. Right now we're in an esports craze where all kids growing up want to be professional gamers. maybe in like 5-10 years, kids growing up are going to want to be professional merblers, but only time will tell. A while ago, someone asked me if I could get Riley Reid to come on the podcast, you know, to talk about wieners, vaginas, pussies, and RuneScape, just the normal type of porn talk on the podcast. And I responded saying I don't think Riley Reid would ever want to do that because she doesn't like me personally. And that led to me telling the story of the beef between Riley Reid and myself. Beef being the wrong word, but for lack of a better term, the bad blood between us. Although this was a while ago, so I'm sure she probably doesn't remember or just doesn't care anymore. But now, ever since I told that story on a stream, people are constantly asking me during streams to tell the story again. And it's kind of cute, kind of like, you know, a kid asking their grandfather who fought in Vietnam to tell them war stories that they've heard a million times from him, except in my case, the only war I fought was on the shores of Riley Reid's butthole. So I figured I'd make a video dedicated to telling the story. So it all started when I made a video about Riley Reid's abominable rap, which remains today one of the worst raps I've ever heard. Now there's definitely a lot worse raps on YouTube from small channels with like 30 views, maybe from like Old Pop Hickey Yokel's barnyard rap ballad about cunnilingus on his animals and making love to his sister, or maybe a chemistry professor's educational rap that's just fucking horrible. But those aren't fully produced raps. Those are all very amateur attempts at it, so I don't really count those as actual raps. Riley Reid had a team behind her and fully produced, so it was a genuine attempt at it, and it was fucking horrible. The worst I'd heard in that department. So I stand by that. I stand by that analysis. On the moist meter, that'd be a 5%. Now, when I published the video, I was made aware she wasn't too happy with my critique of her song here. And I can understand why, because it's clear she put a lot of heart and soul in that. There was inspired lyrics in there, such as, spit stringing from my mouth, let you fuck my face, good nutritious nut. And who could forget when she really takes it home with, jerk it out, jerk it out, jerk it out, beat it out, beat it out, beat it out, jerk it out, jerk it out, beat it out, jerk it out. So I can understand when I insulted her magnum opus of music that she wasn't too happy with that. And that's when it really started, when I made that video. So she didn't like that I made that, she didn't like me, and then about 2 or 3 months after that, I went on her Twitter page, just browsing and perusing, learning more than anything. Well, honestly, I was just looking for titties, for lack of a better cover story. I went through a lot of different porn stars' pages just to see what productions they were taking part in, really. But while on Riley Reid's, I noticed she had retweeted some fan art. And let me tell you what, that fan art, bingo, bango, bongo, that's the epitome of fan art right there. What it was a crayon drawing of Riley Reid spreading her ass cheeks apart and just having her brown balloon nut winking at the camera. It was fucking beautiful. And I saw this, and I made a tweet about it. It was a very vague tweet. I didn't say what porn star. All I said was, haha, I just saw, you know, porn star's fan art with her gaping asshole in crayon. It was great. And then I guess people found it and told the artist that I said that. And then the artist called me an asshole, and then Riley Reid retweeted that saying I'm an asshole, so then they were just double teaming me. And, you know, it all stemmed because, I mean, come on, it's a crayon drawing of a porn star's asshole. How's that not entertaining? I don't want to show the fan art, but instead I took it upon myself to try and doodle it myself. I did 2 attempts here, neither one of them really capture it. This was my first attempt. It doesn't really convey what it looked like. This looks more like a God of War enemy. So then I tried again. And this one just kind of looks like a Wallace and Gromit character doing some naughty shit. This isn't what the fan art looked like. It definitely looked a lot better than this. And I went on the artist's page, and she's talented. But this particular piece, I had a giggle about. You know, come on. You got a porn star spreading her fucking chocolate starfish, and you're doing it in crayon. That's great. That's gonna put a smile on anyone's face. And to be totally honest, as far as crayon drawings of porn stars spreading their fudge cutters go, this is probably the best it can ever get. It was really well done. I could see where the asshole was. I could see the butthole clearly. There was even some labia draping down like some beef curtains. And the pose was really well conveyed. Like you could see the stretching of the ass cheeks, pulling it apart and seeing what's between them. It was really well done. It had a side by side so you could see what the pose was not in crayon and then in crayon. Really well translated. But I honestly don't know why they both got so offended about me making it a joke. I thought the piece was done lightheartedly as just kind of like, hey, look at this little doodle I did. You remember when you did that photo shoot where you spread your butthole wide? Well, here it is in crayon. Oh, that's cool. Retweet. I didn't know it was going to be a hill you want to die on defending it as some type of artistic masterpiece or anything. Like if someone out there wanted to make a fan art of me with my legs over my head and soft dick slapping me in the face, and they did it out of Sharpie or Legos or pipe cleaner or something, I'd be like, haha, that's entertaining, that's cool. And then if people start turning into a joke, you know, I don't think they turn to me and be like, defend this. I'd be like, well, at the end of the day, that's my soft cock slapping me in my face out of some goofy material, you know what I mean? That's probably worth making a joke out of. But, you know, anyway, that's why Riley Reid doesn't like me and probably will never come on the podcast. If I'm wrong, Riley, and you do want to come on the podcast, just go ahead and reach out to me on Twitter. But yep, there's the story. Noon to all of you. Christmas season is upon us, as I'm sure we all know, so please don't forget to leave out a joint and lighter and glass of milk for Santa Claus as he wiggles his fat ass down your chimney to deliver your Fortnite skins this year. Today, to get into the Christmas spirit, I thought I'd share a story. It's a story as old as time itself. I'm sure anyone out there can relate to it. It's a story of when I first tried to suck my own penis. All men have tried it. There's two types of men in this world: men who have tried to suck their own cock, and liars. So obviously I have tried before. And I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on the podcast, but I figured I'd make this entire video dedicated to it because I keep getting emails asking if I suck my own penis, and Twitch chat comments how I suck my own penis. So let's just tell the whole story start to finish the way it was written by Homer in the Odyssey. So, to set the stage, I was probably around like 13 or 14, I'm not exactly sure when, and I was just starting to refine my palate and get a taste for what I liked from pornography and titties and stuff on the internet. And during this time I was very religious, so I was kind of fearful and ashamed of watching porn. I thought anytime I even touched my wiener, I was giving God the middle finger and he was ashamed of me and sad and he'd frown, so I didn't do it all that often. But occasionally the mood would strike me right, and I'd Google image search for boobies and butts and vaginas, and, you know, get very excited looking at these things, you know, give it 2 thumbs up, and sometimes even save it to favorites on my folder. But anyway, one particular evening, I was extremely horny. I was Googling boobies left and right. I was like fucking Professor Xavier jacking into Cerebro. I was looking at boobies all over the place. I could see them all over the internet. And man, I was just really fucking feeling myself. I didn't jerk off or anything though, because like I said, I thought jerking off was a bit too far in the eyes of Christianity, and Google Images was tame enough where, you know, I'd be forgiven. So I was looking at these images, and I eventually said, you know, this is enough. I went into the bathroom, I was going to take my shower, I was still sailing full mast, I was hard as a fucking diamond, and man, I was just so horny, I would have fucked my own ass if I could. But anyway, I'm standing there super erect in front of my shower, and I look at my wiener, and I'm like, damn, that's my fucking winky doodle right there. It's going in my mouth. But I was never a flexible guy. I could never throw my legs behind my head and start nibbling on my ball sack or anything. I just was never flexible at any point in my life. But for some reason, I got the idea that I could absolutely accomplish the sucking of my own cock. So I attempted. I get like halfway down, and then I damn near need life alert because I thought I was going to snap my spine in half going for this advanced contortionist move. So I'm just locked in this fucking demonic pose, looking like Schmeagol admiring his precious in Lord of the Rings. And then I start to worry, like, damn, if I die here, the authorities are going to find my body looking like some type of sexual deviant. This is going to be the worst way of going out. I'm not even going to have like a cool going out story. It's just the obituary is going to read, yeah, he died doing what he loved, attempting to blow himself or something like that. He broke himself in half going for a self-blowjob. That's not like cool at all. But I still wanted to keep trying. I wasn't deterred. I really thought I could pull it off if I just kept giving it my all. I started to get like anime inspired, like with the power of friendship and by never giving up, resiliency, persistence. And if I get real angry, I'll go Super Saiyan and suck my own dick real quick. So I kept trying. I probably tried for in total maybe like a minute, but it felt like an hour. And it just wasn't happening. I knew it wasn't happening. And then I decided it's time to pee, but I never really adjusted myself. I was still looking at my dick as it was looking at me. We're making eye contact. I was staring down the hole of the one-eyed snake there. And I started to, you know, fire on all cylinders to pee. And it's a little harder to pee with an erection. It takes a little bit longer to travel up the urethra. So I had a little bit of time here. And it wasn't until the pee was about to reach the point of no return where I'm like, damn, I'm about to golden shower myself. My face is looking right down the barrel of this loaded gun. So like a fucking Matrix move or like a superhero move, I start peeing and I dodge it. I lift my head back up and then I just start fountaining it over myself, and I'm safe, I'm dry, I don't get pee in my face or anything, but I almost did. The point I'm making is, yes, I've tried to suck my own dick. It did not go well. God did not bless me with the gift of being able to suck myself off. And I'm sure most men probably can't do it, but there are some select few champions out there that can. And don't let any man tell you they haven't tried. I promise you, Nearly every single man on this planet has tried to suck their own penis at one point or another. You don't have to be embarrassed. There's so many of us out there. Come home. Tell your story of sucking your own penis to friends and family to let them know that yes, you're human. Yes, you've tried. Amen. Classic. This wedding is so bad that I think it should have made weddings illegal. Just straight up outlaw marriage across the country because this shit was so fucking abominable.
Break me down, you got a lovely face. Coming to your place. Now you gotta freak me out. Scream so loud, get fucking laid. You want me to stay.
The singer here's got the voice of an angel, goddamn, hitting those notes beautifully. It honestly sounds like the singer is smoking a pack of cigarettes in between each line. And as the performance goes on, it gets worse and worse and more raspy, as if she's trying to fucking lubricate her fatiguing vocal cords with nails as she gargles them. Now, if you're of the older generation, you'll recognize the song as Crazy Bitch by Buckcherry. Now, the audience here was certainly not expecting this. Look at the child's face. Pure disgust, and the father's panicking. The expression on the kid's face really says it all. It looks like he just walked in on his parents having sex, or he's smelling a really abhorrent fart. But it's worse because he's actually watching his Aunt Susie get down and dirty while a song blares about getting fucked. And the dad certainly wasn't expecting to have the birds and the bees talk about where babies come from with his boy during the wedding, but shit, that has changed now. Aunt Susie has forced that conversation.
But I gotta make my way. Hey, you're a crazy bitch, but you fuck so good I'm on top of it when I dream. Doing you all night, scratches all down my back, give me right all night.
Confusion sets in amongst the crowd, and for good reason. I don't think anyone would expect a wedding to be like this. This is less of a wedding and more of like a strip club routine. But in this setting, there's no dollar bills flying, just tears from your relatives. I'm honestly surprised the wife is even in a white dress. I was expecting her to be walking down the aisle in a fucking leather jacket.
Crazy bitch, but you fuck so good I'm on top of it when I dream. Doing you all night, scratches all down my back and give me right on.
Gotta respect the low get down right there, and then she points at what I'm assuming is one of her relatives. Yeah, this ass is shaking for you, Uncle Eric. It's also possible she's pointing at you, the viewer watching this, telling you that you need to go to twitch.tv/moistcritical and follow the daily streams, you pussy. I'll link that as a pinned comment below.
Take it all, live with your game. Keep on playing with fame. Another one I paid it for. You're so fine.
Honestly, I think she pulled a muscle getting down like that, because then her enthusiasm for the art of dancing really goes out the window. She starts fucking noodle arming her arms. She doesn't really start throwing her ass in a circle again or anything like that. It becomes very stiff and robotic movements, so I think she may have overexerted herself during the chorus. Which is an absolute goddamn shame. I was excited for when she finally made it to the groom, where she looks towards the crowd and then just flashes her tits at everyone for the big finale. But she must have just run out of energy.
Don't be alone, kissing in my rocks, or just to get you face to face. Hey, you're a crazy bitch, but you fuck so good I'm on.
Yeah, it looks about what you'd expect. That looks about right. Bunch of biker bandanas up there. Even the man who's going to pronounce them man and wife is wearing a biker bandana, so he's part of the same biker gang. It looks actually very cute with them in suits like that and kind of dressed up. It makes them look a lot more sensitive, so these aren't the Hell's Angels. These look like the Hell's Vegans right now. And I respect that. I respect them getting dressed up, but still holding a piece of the biker culture.
On top of it when I dream, doing you all night, scratches all down my back, give me right all night. You're a crazy bitch, but you fuck so good I'm on top of it when I dream, doing you all night, scratches all down my back, give me right on.
That's where the video ends, but I can imagine where it goes from there. They say I do. The wife slams 2 beer bottles together like Stone Cold Steve Austin and just chugs them both right there. Tosses a bouquet of Budweiser into the crowd. She then sails away on the Harley Davidson with her husband, and they live happily ever after. I know I kind of made fun of this whole thing, as well I think everyone should. This is not how you do a wedding. It's pretty disrespectful for your family to have to sit there and listen to Crazy Bitch and all that. I think that's just a bit out of place and odd. But as long as they're happy, that's what's important. But stop having your fucking weddings outside. I can't stress that enough. Outside weddings suck for everyone. That for chickens. Today, this little cock came in and asked if we can help him put on some muscle. So let's get right into it. How do you like your eggs? Sunny side swole? We're going to go ahead and start with the bench press here. We're going to go ahead and start with some light weight. Go ahead and bench press me. Come on, you little bitch. You shouldn't need me to spot you. Come on, you're making me look silly. You're so weak, this is embarrassing. It's like I'm giving CPR to a fucking pillow. There's no response from this chicken at all. Did it already have a heart attack? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a good time to go over the CrossFit rules. Remember the first rule of CrossFit? Always talk about CrossFit. Let's just jump into our next exercise. It's called the Spread Eagle Bone Saw Blaster. You take your client's stiff legs, you stretch them far out to the side like you just got a new pack of chopsticks and you're about to break them apart, but you don't want to break them yet. You don't want to snap the chicken's legs off. That's the next component of our circuit. You just want to get that tension there, a nice stretch throughout the chicken's muscles. Then you just want to throw the legs forward and backward like you're digging an imaginary hole for this chicken's carcass after you finish torturing it with CrossFit. Then you want to do anywhere from 50 to 100 sets of these, at least until the chicken's heart stops beating. And there you have it, CrossFit for chickens, taking all the joy of CrossFit and putting it into a form even chickens can participate in. CrossFit, where poor form and injuries aren't just a side effect of the exercise. It's our motto. Now next time you hear why did the chicken cross the road, ask him why the chicken crossed the gym, to get fucking jacked. In fact, change the original expression, why did the chicken CrossFit the road, bitch?
Never seen me sport before? You're welcome. I'm in the zany shirt arc and it's looking real good. Next time you might even see me with a bowler hat or something wacky. You've seen me in a bucket hat, but I'm going to start maybe bringing out like the old school noir detective type fits. Who knows? The wardrobe has been slowly but surely upgrading and being filled with wackiness. But anyway, something I want to start doing more of is showcasing positive things and like cool people that, you know, that I think are doing interesting things. Like recently where I did a check-in on Joe is Hungry, who just makes incredible food reviews, seems like a wonderful guy, and I wanted to show you all what he's been up to in recent times, and I want to do more things like that. And 2 days ago, the YouTube algorithm, the fucking enigma that it is, where it'll sometimes serve me incomprehensible gobbledygook archaic footage from like 11 years ago filmed on a Motorola Razr that's an employee at Blockbuster showing you how to rewind VHS tapes with sub 30 views. And obviously that's an irresistible piece of content that I click on, so like the algorithm does have a big soul read on me sometimes. But then other times it'll give me things that I have no interest in. But 2 days ago, it served me something that I found fascinating and a channel that I'm very interested in keeping up with. It was a League of Legends player who is paralyzed and plays League of Legends at a pretty high level using a quad stick, which is a controller for your mouth. It's for people that have disabilities like this that aren't able to use their hands to play games, and it helps enable them to be able to play games. His name is Onfa, and I watched his video where he carried a team, like actually just fucking put them on his back, just kegeled them to the finish line, dragging them kicking and screaming into a dub. And I watched that video and then watched him explain how he plays League of Legends, and I just think it's genuinely incredible. I then also looked up his summoner name to see, like, you know, what elo he's in. He's in Emerald 2 and an absolute fucking demon on Briar, just clapping cheeks constantly there. Emerald 2 is no joke. Like, that is a very respectable elo. It's higher than my peak elo in League of Legends, that's for damn sure. And I really wanted to just put this channel on your radar because I think it's pretty amazing. I want to show you how he uses the quad stick. He does a great tutorial on how he plays games like this. And I looked him up further. He also used to post on Instagram like 2 years ago playing Call of Duty using the same quad stick. And he also explained like he can use his arms but not his hands. So he is paralyzed. I'm not sure with what or what led to that or anything, but you'll see him move his hand or his arms sometimes, but he can't use his hands, which is why he's using the quad stick. Now, before diving into the spaghetti and meatballs and showing you his content, there is something and someone else that I want to make a brief mention of. Now, prior to finding Onfa's channel, I actually had heard of the quad stick controller before. I was loosely aware of it. I've never seen it used to this high of a level before. This is incredibly impressive, but I was aware of it because over the years I've been pretty interested in these accessibility tools. And that's because 5 years ago I met and became friends with this guy right here, Gimpy0, after I learned about a tragedy that befell him and his family where during one of his streams his house caught on fire. Gimpy0 is a quadriplegic man who is a gamer who's been using accessibility tools to play games for a long time now. And he used to be an active streamer on Twitch, playing through a lot of his favorite games using some of these tools. After the fire, a lot changed with him and his family. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to game and stream like he was prior, but him and I remain friends to this day, and he tells me about all of these really cool innovations in accessibility tools for people with disabilities. So the quad stick is something that I was aware of, and to just randomly get served on his channel, someone who's utilizing that tool to like an unbelievably high skill level, it's just so cool to see.
Hi, I'm paralyzed and this is how I play League of Legends with my mouth. I use something called a quad stick. It's a mouth joystick that has 3 holes that you can suck or blow into, and a lip trigger. I use the joystick to move the mouse around. I use the lip trigger to lock and unlock the cam. I blow into the center hole for right click. I suck in the center hole for left click.
Just looking for a road home.
I blow into the right hole to use the wards. And I suck in the center hole to ping. I blow into the center and left hole to use Q. I suck in the center and left hole to use W. I blow into the center and right hole to use E.
It's just death.
And I suck in the center and right hole to use ultimate. I suck into all 3 holes to use ignite or smite. And I blow into all 3 holes to use flash.
Yeah, it's wild. His APM, significantly higher than anyone in my elo. I can promise you that much. You bet your fucking sweet bippy this guy would be smurfing in my lobbies. And he's just making it look effortless, especially during a game, too. Like, it's like Mozart at work here. He's just so proficient. Like, my fucking neck gets sore when I'm opening cards for like 10 minutes. Meanwhile, he's doing like 10,000 actions per minute here, carrying complete fucking shitters in his lobby to dubs in Emerald. Like, what the fuck? It's like, I can't stress enough just how amazing that is to see. So here, let's check out some of his actual gameplay here in Emerald.
Please give me a break. It's my first video, so I will probably forget to talk sometimes and lock in, but I'll try my best to give commentary as well. As I said, we have a Celtic to the enemy team. It's a big try counter, so we will see how fed I can be.
Spoiler alert, he gets fucking gluttonous. He gets turbo fed. And it's not like this was a blowout from start to finish. His bottom lane instantly started feeding, which is something he made a mention of as well. And then he just completely took control of this game. And the entire time, he is still giving commentary. Even though he has to use his mouth to play the game, he is still able to give, like, very good commentary and be entertaining.
As usual, your bot lane is the one losing, but we will see if we can carry it anyway.
I don't want to just show you the whole game. I highly recommend you go to his channel and watch the whole thing, but I want to show you a couple highlights because, like I said, this wasn't just some stomp where he was always going to win. They won because of him carrying them. And I just want to show you some moments from it that I think really showcase just how much micro he's able to do here with the quad stick, and also like he has a very good understanding of the fundamentals of the game. His macro throughout the game, like his calls were pretty spot on.
Can I ult this? Good. Oh, I was contemplating if I was going to flash over and EM into the wall, or so I just fucking stun locked myself. Then Akali was there. Oh. It's such a bad play by me. Holy shit, I played it as bad as I could.
His map awareness is stellar. So he was constantly looking throughout the game for gank opportunities or a way to clean up or a way to help. So like he was always looking for opportunities to get a pick like on that Kha'Zix there. But the thing is, even when he did, the other team would collapse, like the Akali coming in. So they weren't able to like fully, you know, snowball from there. Like I said, it was like kind of a grueling game that he had to take control of.
What she actually goes for it? So you kill it. Probably. Shit on, that's why we play Briar. Ha ha! Try to counter my old bitch. Oh, it's so close. I should have just altered her. I'm so bad. Could have flashed. I could have done anything. Holy shit, I played so bad. I shit on the fucking Kha'Zix though. Holy.
This is when he started to turn the game around, really. So he just kept visiting every lane and just putting so much pressure on them, which was able to start getting openings for the team to punish. So even though he didn't finish off all 3 kills there, which he actually was pretty close to doing, having Nefiri come in to clean it up gets him to assist. They get to keep pushing their advantage, and it became pretty unwinnable for the other team.
Poor lad. He tried to counter me, but... Okay, we are not prioritizing...
Shut down. Has been slain.
He's dead. My champ is so broken. Oh my god.
Dominating.
More?
It started to get pretty disgusting. He got to do whatever he wanted on the Rift there. He was fucking world starring the other squad. It was pretty brutal, and they closed it out. He finished with 18 kills, 18-3. It was a slaughter that was led by him. So he is extremely impressive. I thought it was a really, really enjoyable piece of content, and I think the video he made showing the quad stick and how he utilizes it was just really, really interesting, and I'm very excited to see what else he makes, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it because I think it's really cool. That's a symbolical pattern of getting 1 night of sleep and then 1 all-nighter, so I alternate days where I sleep. I only sleep every other day. I'm a goddamn cryptid when it comes to sleep. And I know you're probably tired of hearing me yap about my insomnia. The reason I'm mentioning it now is because it's 6 a.m. I've obviously been up all night again. But the reason why I keep bringing it up is because it's kind of like Voldemort's name, where you gotta take away its power. So this is me calling out my insomnia, hoping that, you know, if enough time passes, I'll start to make some headway being able to sleep normally again. I'm also trying a bunch of, like, medication now. Not working, huh? It doesn't seem to be panning out all that well. I just spit everywhere. This has nothing to do with the topic, by the way. You've got eyes, and I assume you're literate. You know what the topic is. It's a huge YouTube issue that apparently has just started up and people have learned about. According to a bunch of YouTubers, there's been an abnormal drop in views on all of their channels, allegedly a site-wide decline in views, seemingly out of nowhere, and they've been doing a lot of exploring in the data, and they believe they've found the culprit. A YouTuber named Josh Strife Hayes just posted a video explaining all of it and showing all of the data, which is apparently corroborated by a ton of other channels experiencing very similar circumstances. And I'll go ahead and address the obvious explanation that people are absolutely going to be like Poindextering, pushing up their glasses. Well, actually, this is the reason. They fell off. Like, that's going to be what most people typically default to. Like, there's probably no YouTube issue. These channels are probably just falling off or posting some lackluster content that people aren't interested in. Or you could easily just point to the time of year that it is, you know, back to school and all that. And that's not like some kind of fucking outlandish hypothesis that'll have you, you know, thrown into a padded cell at Arkham Asylum. Like, that sounds reasonable. But if you look at the data here, it's not really supported, because nothing changed in like the type of content and all of that until one day in particular, across the board on every channel, August 10th. That is Judgment Day for YouTube channels, where the views just got fucking smited, and it seems like something changed on the back end that has now led to this net decrease in views for pretty much every channel on the platform.
I want you to specifically look at your views from device type in August, specifically around the August 9th to 12th period, because that is the date range the desktop views specifically fall out of correlation with the other device types and become consistently lower. 12,000 per day drop to 6,000 per day over 4 days and then remain at that. The other channels I've asked to check their analytics also corroborated this same drop. August 10th shows a substantial and sustained reduction in views from desktop source only, while not showing a correlation reduction from other device types.
This is why I said that explanation of, oh, it's just the time of year, or, oh, they must have just been posting cringe on main or some shit, just doesn't really work here. Because when you look at the analytics, the views stayed the same on device types, except for one, which doesn't make any sense if the explanation is they were making bad content, shit no one wanted to see. Because if that was the case, you would see a reduction in views on all device types there, not just a single isolated one. He is showing here that all the views maintain the same consistency on all devices except computer post August 10th. So unmasking the Scooby-Doo villain here of less views, we get something pretty fishy where it seems like they must have changed something on the back end when it comes to computer desktop views specifically. Computer views on post August 10th take a drastic decline, and they stay that way. They don't go back into the same pattern, the same correlation that they previously were. Josh Strife Hayes showcases it with his channel, and then he mentions other channels also corroborated that as well. So naturally I wanted to take a peek at mine. I don't typically pay attention to views, so I didn't even realize that this was like a huge thing going on in the first place with like a reduced views out of nowhere. I set up the process exactly how he described, and I got very, very similar results to what he showcased. Let's take a peek under the hood here. I did exactly what Josh said, 90 days device type views, and everything follows the same correlation that it usually does. And then August 10th, the next day, bang, bingo, bango, bongo, the computer desktop views get banished to the Shadow Realm, and it's all cattywampus. It goes tits up. But I thought, I never really look at this in the first place, so maybe this is just something where it kind of ebbs and flows, like maybe some stinkers get farted out from me and people don't want to see that, you know, it is what it is. So I decided to go to the last 365 days, and no, it seems like the trend is pretty consistent. Like, these usually do kind of stay in like the same general ranges together until you can see the tail here. August 10th, and now all of a sudden everything's changed. It's a whole new ball game. I don't think that this is a natural thing that just happened where every single channel, every single viewer on YouTube just decided to sell their computers and just watch YouTube exclusively on tablets or TVs. I'd be very surprised to hear about this mass exodus from PCs. Like, you know what? Time to hang up the RGB. I'm getting myself a fucking Kindle and I'm only gonna fucking read books and I'll watch YouTube on it. I don't think that's what's happening here. This really seems like there is some kind of internal change at YouTube that has caused this. I don't think there's been an official word from YouTube on this at all. Like, maybe it goes deeper than this, and maybe it has to do with, like, how bad the platforms become with the enshittifying of, like, the recommended section. Maybe they're changing how they, like, even feed viewers videos in the first place. Though, if that was the case, then you would still see a reduction in views on all device types, not just a single one. So that wouldn't really explain that. I don't know. It is very odd. It definitely smells of some horseradish.
Now I can use specific videos I've released to show this switch again. If your channel is focused on shorts, follow this specific video by video comparison to see the correlation switch for yourself. And I can use videos from both restricted mode and normal mode to show that restricted mode probably has nothing to do with this. The last video before this August 10th switch happens. And my next video, Was It Good? Neverwinter Nights, Hordes of the Underdark, released on August 21st. And that was the first video ever on my channel to have a higher view count from mobile devices than from desktop PCs. Here is the complete graph showing every video I have ever released on the channel. The blue line is desktop views, the green is mobile. Desktop views have been consistently higher than mobile views within correlation, except from August 10th onwards. If we look at the last 90 days again, you can see the desktop view dip.
Which is something you could see on my channel as well. He mentions that he doesn't believe restricted mode has any role to play in this, and the data that he presents here is very interesting. I think Josh Strife-Hayes has done a great job with this investigation here. He has narrowed in on the date and also the culprit, which is desktop views. What changed? Did they change the way they calculate the views, or did they change the way they even feed people videos on desktop? Like, maybe there's a chance if you're a desktop YouTube enthusiast, maybe you do not get the videos from the pages you subscribe to. Maybe YouTube just decides not to push them on desktop users. Who's really to say? But you can see in the data that that is where it is coming from. There is something that happened on August 10th that it seems like every single channel is experiencing. Josh Strife-Hayes does make a mention that it doesn't seem to matter for shorts content, like short form content. That doesn't seem to like play by these rules here. It's only for long form videos. If you're a YouTuber, I encourage you to check your own analytics on this here to see if it's the same story. I imagine it probably will be. It seems very consistent for every channel so far. I would be surprised to see the trend be bucked at this point. It seems like there definitely is something that happened on August 10th at YouTube. But who knows? Maybe this is like a wild coinkydink that so many channels have the exact same thing happen on the exact same day. I guess we'll see. Maybe YouTube will shed some light on this topic. Anyway, just wanted to put this on your radar a little bit. Great work to Josh Strife-Hayes and
on the internet to the point where it's almost insulting when you see them. Just dumb bullshit like, if you have to fart and it's not an appropriate place, hold it in. Or super pro tip life hack turbo mode ultra life hack. If you need to remember your passwords to your online accounts, write them down. But I found a channel on YouTube that makes every other life hack look genuinely useful. It's an account called Mr. Gear, who releases some of the most psychotic, dumb, unbelievably fucking ridiculous contraptions that he considers life hacks. So let's go ahead and take a look inside the mind of a lunatic here. So this one starts with scalping an innocent Pringles can. So you murder a Pringles can and the end result will shock you. You won't believe number 6 life hack. Bravo, Mr. Gear. Real MacGyver over here. The world's most repulsive pencil holder and or cup, depending on how you'd like to use it. Really simple though, all you need is a Pringles can and some yarn straight from the 1800s. That was the dirtiest yarn I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. I swear he must have dug up his great-grandmother's grave and she was buried with all of her fucking sewing materials, and he just picked up her yarn and then wrapped the Pringles can with it. It's not even aesthetically pleasing or anything either, it just looks like you dumped your shit into a stiff pile of pubic hair. That looks like something that maybe George of the Jungle would have put on his school desk, or Tarzan. No one's gonna want that, and why do you even need 2 Pringles cans and cut them up? Why not just open the Pringles can and use that as the holder? It's the same effect. I guess this is a good solution if you've decapitated your toothbrush but still want to use the head, but I don't know why you'd go through the extra steps of hot gluing it to an eraserless pencil when you can just go to the store and buy a brand new one for 4 cents. One thing you'll notice about Mr. Gear's unique life hacks is they predominantly consist of break shit and then glue that shit onto other shit. It's a vicious cycle of just glue shit, glue shit, glue shit, and then create the most disgusting product at the very end of the procedure, when you could have just bought something a lot cheaper and saved yourself a lot of trouble. This CD coaster being the perfect example. If you want to use it as a coaster, just use the CD, I guess. If you want to just throw away a Windows 98 instructional DVD, that's totally fine. Why go through the extra step of gluing clothespins that you broke onto it? It's fucking dumb. It doesn't make it look any better. It makes it look even stupider, somehow. Yeah, that looks like a good writing utensil, a straw with the fucking pin. I just don't understand, Mr. Gear. You're 10 steps above human intelligence here. You're existing on another plane that corporeal existence just doesn't quite reach yet. This man is a goddamn genius. Science said it couldn't be done. Scientists said you couldn't turn a fork into a spoon. What do you call that, scientists? That's checkmate. David Blaine couldn't even turn a fork into a spoon. You know what Mr. Gear says to David Blaine? Suck his fuck, Mr. Blaine, because he has just turned a fork into a spoon. An amazing transmutation here, and he teaches everyone how to do it with a simple life hack. I also appreciate how he has a pretty hard cut on the back of his hand that you know he got while cutting up the Coke can, so don't nobody ever say Mr. Gear doesn't make sacrifices for his life hacks. There's a question that's never been asked by a single human being throughout all of history. I don't think anyone gives a shit on how to protect their marker. It's not like there needs to be marker insurance. Shit! I've just been burglarized and they broke all of my markers. Luckily, I'm covered. And even if he means protecting the marker from drying out if you lose the cap, who gives a fuck? Just get another marker. Marker lives don't matter that much. I don't think there's a huge movement to fund research for breakthrough scientific discoveries to increase the lifespan of a marker. I take it all back. That's a fucking great solution. Just wrap a balloon on it like a condom. Now, is this hack that really greased up my shit stain and confused me, because I was under the impression that these life hacks were aimed at kids just to give them something fun to do, but they really can't be, because he doesn't use kid-friendly tools. He uses box cutters, razor blades, and now a fucking blowtorch. I'm sure the next tool he's gonna break out is a goddamn circular saw or something. That shit can't be aimed at kids, because kids shouldn't have access to those kind of power tools and materials. So this has to be aimed at adults, but what full-grown, rational thinking adult is going to look at any of these and be like, yeah, that's definitely a lot easier than the alternative of just buying a 3-cent replacement. If there is a single living, breathing human being that watched that and unironically thought to themselves, Eureka! Finally, the answer to all of my prayers, the solution to my sleeping problems where it's too bright to sleep. I've found it with the Coke bottle paperclip mask. Damn, too bright for sleeping? Why not just turn off the light? If that's too much trouble, why not get a face mask? Why would you ever make that right there? If there's a single person, though, that unironically made this, I will genuinely shit my pants, take off the shitted pants, and then eat the shitted pants. Because I don't believe a single person out there, no matter how mentally unwell, would look at that and think that's what I need in my life. Thank you, Mr. Gear. I don't know what the fuck this is. Maybe he made a little lemon titty. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. A modern art piece? I couldn't tell you. But god damn it, your life has been hacked. Through the miracle of cold fusion and hot glue, Mr. Gears created the world's most inefficient eraser. What a beautiful double whammy to finish this video off from Mr. Gear. He gets you with the 1-2 punch. He makes a pencil sharpener that, well, it's just a pencil sharpener. And then he makes a flimsy plate holder that will 100% break your plates. Your life has been fucking changed. Thank you, Mr. Gear. I'll make sure to do all of these. Never. But god damn it, those are some real creative shit-ass thing today that I want to yap about. It's become somewhat of a big conversation even outside of these bubbles that I'm tapped into, because even people that know nothing about guns can recognize that there's something wrong with this little puppy here. It's the SIG P320. This puppy's got a real nasty reputation developing. It's got the cheese touch, people talking about it being stinkier than Sir Strumming. I was going to lore dump on you, and I had even made this video setting all of the groundwork and the foundation for everything that had been happening with the P320 up until this point, but I want to show you the video that's sparked this topic for me today that I want to talk about, and it's got a lot of people talking.
Through the firing sequence, through the actual movement of the sear down is less than 1 millimeter. And we're gonna see if it'll set the cartridge off. I don't know, we'll try it a couple times. It might not, this safety might be working, but the other safeties might not have been, so let's see. And if you touch the slide, let's see if we can touch the slide and get it to go off. We have it staged at 1 millimeter or less as measured on the table, so this is just a guesstimate. And if we put some input into the slide somewhere, will it go off again? Will it release? Let's see.
Now, without knowing any of the context for why he's doing this experiment in the first place, there's been a lot of confusion from people that don't know anything about the P320, wondering why he put a screw there. Why did he fucking MacGyver this handgun and make it fire by, you know, fondling the slide? There's a lot of people that clearly didn't watch the full video where he explains that, and they do not know about the P320's history and everything going on with that handgun in particular. So now they're just passing this off as like worthless or a useless experiment that demonstrates nothing and proves nothing, saying like, the trigger is fully engaged, so of course he's up there cranking on the slide like I jerk my dick, it's gonna go off, it makes sense. And yeah, I guess that thought does make sense if you're a resident of Stupidville. This shouldn't happen, and it doesn't happen for most guns, but the P320 has been in some serious hot water for alleged uncommanded discharges and a lot of incidents around this gun firing like while in its holster and such, including the recent death of a 21-year-old airman where it is reported that this firearm discharged, and according to leaked reports, now again these are unconfirmed reports, but according to the leaked reports, the handgun was holstered on a desk and then went off, killing him. It is a problem that has been reported for a long time. And this YouTuber, Wyoming Gun Project, just did a video kind of breaking down, can this gun fire without the trigger being pulled? And I think he did a beautiful job at demonstrating that, and we'll get into the screw and the millimeter that he's talking about there in a moment, but I want you to understand that this is a big problem. And the company themselves said under no circumstances can this gun fire without a trigger pull, yet it is provable and repeatable that it indeed can. There's even been a push to stop using this weapon in an official capacity due to how dangerous it could be. It's a widely reported problem, apparently linked to more than 100 incidents since 2016 with at least 80 injuries. Even in my neck of the woods here in Tampa, an officer in 2020 had the weapon fire while in his jacket while he was adjusting it. So dude up here just like fucking popping his collar on the jacket or something, fires the handgun, which reportedly shattered his ankle. There are tons of cases that have been reported, and SIG has actually filed a lawsuit trying to like reverse the ban on this weapon from law enforcement, which I think is a horrible look from SIG, by the way. This is just a big safety concern across the board, and it's something that's been talked about quite a bit for a while now. But yesterday, this video came out from Wyoming Gun Project, and now I just really want to talk about it today because I think it is so interesting and pretty scary.
Basically, we were able to input a millimeter or less of downward movement on the sear and get this slide. By manipulating the slide, we were able to get it to go off and actually fire a primed case 5 times in a row.
That's the whole experiment here in a nutshell. Inputting a millimeter or less of downward movement on the trigger past the pre-travel, and then manipulating the slide in any way. It didn't have to be like hands, by the way. Like the real world application would be if for some reason that trigger was engaged a millimeter or less past the pre-travel, and then you put it in your holster, it would go off. That is answering the question that people have wanted an answer to for a while. How could the P320 fire uncommanded? And his experiment aimed to try and solve that to figure out how it could happen. Now, this isn't some like really wacky specific set of circumstances that are just astronomical odds of happening. Like this isn't unfathomable. A millimeter, that's nothing. That's like the size of Ant-Man's erect nipples when he shrinks himself down to an atomic size. A millimeter or less of movement past the pre-travel, that is something that can very realistically happen over time, like build up in there. There are so many things that could contribute to that happening, which is probably why there are so many reported incidents of this discharging uncommanded.
I have seen some other videos where people have taken their SIG, they've engaged the trigger just a tiny bit and touched the slide, and it's gone off. Now, I just did that for me right there.
This was the experiment people were doing prior to Wyoming Gun Project, where they would lightly pull the trigger, not fully engaging it, but lightly pulling it and then tapping the slide and it would go off. But that's an experiment that obviously isn't the, most reliable because you never really know. Maybe you put more pressure than you thought, and it was a little too up for interpretation whether or not it was a trigger pull and such. So it wasn't the most reliable demonstration, and instead Wyoming Gun Project went the extra step of showcasing how it can fire without your finger even being near the trigger if there is just that millimeter or less worth of movement past the pre-travel.
So I tried to figure out a way, like how can we come up with a way where we can gradually increase the pressure on the trigger to the point where this play in this slide makes a difference? Because this is, none of my other guns do this. And for control, let me just show you another handgun that does not do this. This is a Taurus G3. Look how much play is in this slide. Like literally none.
I found that to be pretty weird with how much the slide moves when you slightly manipulate it, like fucking doing sock puppets on the slide, has it bouncing up and down like it's getting hit with raging wind gusts during a hurricane. I don't know if that's normal for the wobbliness to be set to wumbo or what, but I've never seen it in any of the handguns I've shot either. So like for example, this is just a Springfield XD. And if you go to like move the slide, there's not even like the slightest give in it at all. But again, maybe that's common in some way, but I'm certainly pretty unfamiliar with a slide moving like that.
Now, why is that important? That is important because the striker mechanism is in the slide and the sear and FCU is in the frame. So any up and down movement affects the engagement of the sear and the striker hook. In case somebody doesn't know, this is pre-travel on a trigger or free play. Nothing is happening here. No firing process is starting at all. When it hits that wall, that's when it will start lowering the sear.
A super solid explanation on why the movement of that slide is so odd, and then he explains the pre-travel. Then he measures the pre-travel, and then he puts in the screw being his way of fine-tuning the amount of movement that he could get past the trigger wall. And in this case, it would go off with as little as less than a millimeter worth.
Let's see if we can get it off by just touching, or let it, if we can release the striker by just touching the slide. Now I'm not touching it with my finger. How about that? So this was less than a millimeter, so we'll assume the one that is at 1 millimeter will go off. Okay, so let's try it. That time it didn't. And there it did. So that's kind of simulating of it's rolling around in a cop's holster.
Not a whole lot of movement required to have this go off by just having the slide be bumped or moved or in some way jostled around. That's a big concern. And then he addresses people that inevitably ended up talking about like the screw being there. Like, oh, it's just a full trigger pull with the screw. This doesn't really prove anything. I think he gives a good explanation on why the screw doesn't matter. It's there just to simulate what could happen should a millimeter worth of movement happen to the trigger, which again is something that can very easily happen.
I'm gonna get some jerk off that comes in these comments go, well, just don't stick a screw in your trigger. This is a tool to simulate, to take the human factor out, so that you same people that will come in my comments and say this aren't going, you pulled the trigger with your finger, bro. I didn't. The FBI report said there was a ledge on, it was either the sear or the striker hook, I don't remember. And you pulled the trigger a little bit, less than a millimeter, less than 1 millimeter. And it caught on that ledge. And then you holstered your gun. Okay, this is a G-code holster. Then you holstered your gun. And it just went off.
I think that right there really showcases it extremely well. Also, there are some holsters that do have like a reported issue where when you holster it, like depending on the angle, sometimes it can actually depress the trigger slightly. So if you happen to have one of those holsters and happen to put it in at that angle, and the SIG P320, the trigger gets depressed a little bit, a millimeter past the pre-travel, it could just go off in your holster. Like that is an issue.
Let me see if I can set this on the desk and bang the desk and see if it'll, now the camera's gonna shake, so. Whoa! Let's see what we got here. Did it go off? Sure did. Look at that. So how could he set it on the desk and it go off? I just showed you right there. Again, this is simulating what the FBI found as a shelf on either the sear or the striker hook, and it getting caught up on that, or maybe you're putting input on the trigger and you've only gone less than a millimeter through the firing sequence, through the actual movement of the sear down is less than 1 millimeter. And we're gonna see if it'll set the cartridge off. I don't know, we'll try it a couple times. It might not, this safety might be working, but the other safeties might not have been, so let's see.
It is pretty crazy to see the desk demonstration there with just how little has to be exerted on it for it to discharge once there is that teensy tiny tiddlywink of movement past the trigger wall. Now, of course, I don't think this is going to happen all the time to every P320 out there, but the fact that it can happen at all is concerning. It is clearly an issue based on the numerous reported incidents, all of these alleged incidents with this weapon. It proves that there are a lot of circumstances that lead to that little amount of movement there, and it's causing it to discharge uncommanded. And it is something that needs some big looking into and maybe a little sprucing up, because it is seemingly responsible for numerous injuries and, at least in one case, a death. So I just found this to just be an interesting topic and a really great video from Wyoming Gun Project. Again, I recommend you check out the full thing.
It's scary. So call your mother for a warm glass of milk, put on your trench coat, your studded bracelet, and your sunglasses, because I'm taking your ass to the dark side of speedrunning. This is where the edge meets the edge. It's time for you to meet speedrunning's most feared and powerful supervillain, Gaming0 Entertainment. This monster, nay, this fiend, no, this demon, spawned from the most unlikely game I could have ever imagined. He fucking runs The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer, which seems to be the most boring speedrunning game in existence, and there's only like 3 total runners. But this guy has made enemies out of all 3 of them and the entire speedrunning community, because I'll just go ahead and show you. So he posted this video about the world record, which has been obsoleted, which is a fucking amazing word. Obsoleted sounds like some type of cheesy action movie one-liner, like Jason Statham is a clone who's fighting another clone. He's about to execute him, and he says, "You've been obsoleted, bitch," and then puts like a fat one right in between his eyes. But anyway, he posts this video, and the video is just him showing fragments of his run, because he didn't want to disclose any of his strategies he used for his so-called world record that he has no proof for. He didn't want to reveal his state-of-the-art secrets, his Shaolin training. He didn't want anyone to know how he would pull it off, so he just shows fragments from the run. Now be warned, if you haven't played The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer game yet, there are some minor spoilers here. The biggest spoiler you're going to see is that the game fucking sucks. The game looks like ass. This looks like the most boring speedrunning game I could have ever imagined. The whole run that he shows is just Mr. Incredible throwing a barrel at something and Frozone making a pathway over a gap. That's it. So that's the speedrunning here. Wahoo! Now let's turn our attention to the Jumbotron and read the description here. Full video was uploaded on my channel a few months ago and 46 people seen it. One user even left comment nice. Well, tickle my butthole and then put a fist in it. Who the fuck had the audacity to leave that kind of comment on a Gaming0 Entertainment video? Who do they think they are? The gall of that man to say, nice. Disgusting. After I make sure that this video was watched by one speedrunner, I blocked it so he won't learn any tactics and strategies from me, but at the same time he knows that the world record belongs to me because he's seen video. And here you can see some fragments of my godlike speedrun. It was officially the smoothest speedrun I ever had in my life. Well, not to, far be it for me to question your righteous holiness, Gaming0 Entertainment, but since there's no proof of it, it's quite the opposite of official. Good luck beating that time, you can't. Another important thing to say is that this speedrun is obsoleted due to me finding new tactics, strategies, and skips, but even then it's still a world record and will definitely stay that way forever. Also, his dad works for Bungie and will ban you from Minecraft if you say otherwise. I have to take him at his word here because he seems like a pretty trustworthy, insane guy to me. Although there are some hints that he's a bit greedy here, like some type of fucking leprechaun hoarding the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But here, instead of a pot of gold, it's a pile of dog shit. It's the Rise of the Underminer speedrun time. I couldn't pay someone enough money to give me a fake compliment congratulating me for having the world record on that game. Mr. Rogers would laugh at me and insult me, spit on my face if I told him I had the world record in this game. No one gives a shit about it, except for this guy apparently. This man wears it like a fucking Boy Scout badge, like a Pokemon gym badge on his sleeve. Now let's see what Gaming0 Entertainment has to say to the blasphemers that are questioning the authenticity of his run and also his attitude about the whole thing. Now there is no comment that he will not reply to. This man is the fucking gladiator here. He's the champion of this Roman Colosseum and he is going to fight anyone that says anything to him. So let's go ahead and start with this one. So, is that it? No more idiots from Reddit, redacted, Goblin Land want to visit this awesome place? Make no mistake, this place does seem awesome. Pff, weaklings. I knew you just have no balls. Pathetic. Come on, girls. I know you can do more. Oh well. I didn't expect too much from you anyway. See, here comes his supervillain monologue right here, kind of goading him on like, yeah, who else wants to challenge the divine ruler of incredible speedrunning? One brave warrior chimes in, holy fuck, LMAO, imagine being so mentally ill. Calling out Gaming0 Entertainment right to his face, and you know what he gets? Annihilated. Gaming0 Entertainment fires back with a zinger. Damn, indeed. It's like looking at the mirror. Damn. Fucking roasted. There was no mercy there. No survivors. Gaming Zone Entertainment claimed another soul. The argument between GZE, Gaming Zone Entertainment, and Brad continues into the second season of the anime. He says, "Too bad you'll never know the highly optimized strats that I achieved after hours of top-level play because I'm the best." Gaming Zone Entertainment says, "Nope, still not good enough, try harder." But then Gaming Zone Entertainment starts feeding. "I'm growing stronger. More. He's becoming a Dragon Ball Z bad guy." He continues to power up. Yes. Free energy. Give it. Give me all your energy. I have the power. My God. It's all over for the human race. Gaming Zone Entertainment's about to swallow us up. We will all be his slaves. It's his world. We're just jerking off in it. Gaming Zone Entertainment is becoming too powerful, feeding off too much YouTube comment energy. And he just continues this shit in the comment section. But what I wanted to show you is speedrunning can get very intense, but you will never find anything more intense than The Incredibles' Rise of the Underminer. Gaming Zone Entertainment is a goddamn mountain of masculinity, an unstoppable force of nature in incredible speedrunning, and we haven't even seen his most highly optimized strats that he is still keeping under lock and key in the vault at Fort Knox. Pray he never released that footage. We, as a species, couldn't handle his Rise of the Underminer strats. Godspeed to all speedrunners out there that dare attempt incredible speedrunning with Gaming Zone Entertainment still on the prowl. But yeah, I mean, here's the whole situation. There it is. This is how dark and extreme speed performs psychic surgery and workshop. God damn it, I'm going down this rabbit hole again. This looks like an emergency procedure. Jesus, Zarathustra. Please! She's fading! Psychic surgery her back to life. Oh no, don't grab her tits, Zarathustra. Please. She's here for surgery, not sexual harassment. I like how he's making his own sound effects. It adds to it. Ooh, that's a very powerful move right there. Very, very powerful. Oh, that's a big one. That's a lot of anxiety he just took out of her. She's about to undo her dreads. Oh, yes, very important. Gotta suckle the milk out of the tits. Looking good. Honk it, twist it, but be gentle. It's surgery after all, psychic surgery. Ooh, there it is. Yep. Ooh, that was a sour one. He didn't like the taste of that. That energy was raw. That was uncooked. Yeah, so I motorboated you. What about it? What do you mean sexual harassment? It was surgery. Zarathustra's Magic Wednesday in Norway. That is the sound of magic, yes. Man, you can just see the relief on this woman. There we go. Brush it off. Yes. Perfect. I could totally run this guy out of business. I can do those sound effects, and I can, like, squeeze tits. It'll be the new Zarathustra. Oh, he's getting real angry. That's some bad energy in there. Oh, he's getting aggressive. That top is coming off one way or the other, lady. Easy way or the hard way. Yeah, lady, just pee your pants. He doesn't like water sports. It's the only way to make him stop. Big old slurp in that one. There's a lot of bad energy there. There we go. Oh, that's the center of the bad energy. Yeah, he's identified it now. There goes all of her anxiety. Is the procedure over? Was it successful? Have you cured her of her back pain? Yeah, that's where the back pain's hiding. Oh, that playful back pain. Oh yeah, I'll get that back pain out for you. The psychic style. Oh yeah, it's going down south. That back pain's trying to run away from me. You can hear the back pain. Oh, there it is. I think I got a handle on it. Nope, I was wrong.